Hello and welcome back to another episode of Certified Yapper. In the age of 2024, where everybody has a smartphone with a camera that can record up to 4K video on it, why would you shoot film photography? For me, there are a couple different reasons that I want to talk about today. We'll go over the barrier of entry of getting into film photography, the disadvantages of shooting on disposable cameras, and a couple other things. I've been shooting on film now for just over 2 years. I started out with this cheap little camera. It's a point and shoot Bell and Howell PZ2000 with autofocus. And I picked up this camera while I was thrifting. I was lucky enough after a couple months to come across one, and it cost me $10. Came with the manual, a little case, and then the carrying strap, which I ended up taking off just because now I put this in my little crossbody bag when I go out and I take pictures, and it's super convenient. When talking about film photography, you can't talk about the barrier of entry without talking about film. The whole reason that we're here today making this video. This is a 3-pack of three 36 exposure Kodak Ultramax rolls of film, and this cost me $30. So you are paying per picture versus just shooting digitally on your phone, which can be a turnoff for a lot of people. Money is tighter now, and why on earth would film photography be a good investment? For me personally, film photography has helped me be a lot more present. It's helped me be more mindful, and it's really kept me grounded. It's very easy living in a big city to just get lost with everything around you and be kind of numb to your surroundings, especially. So, film photography has really helped to open my eyes. My awareness to my surroundings has sharpened, and that helps you also take better photos, which has been super fun. Um, I have a point and shoot camera that I use as my daily driver, but I also picked up this Canon Rebel T2 a few years back, because one of the things that can happen with shooting just a point and shoot camera is that your photos can become really blurry. So there are cameras you can upgrade to further down the line if it's something that you decide to stick with, but I highly recommend just picking up a little point and shoot camera. When it comes to different film types, you can start out like I did. I started out with Fujifilm, but I ended up switching away from that because I didn't really like the green tones. So that's why I shoot on Kodak now, to get more of those like warm colors, like those kind of yellowish shades. But talking about film photography, disposable cameras have really come back into the public consciousness, and I think it's a great thing. I think it's a way for people to rediscover a love of film photography. But I'm going to be an advocate here for just picking up a regular reusable camera. There is something to be said, about that nostalgic wind up of the camera. This camera will auto wind for you and auto rewind your film. But disposable cameras are getting very expensive nowadays. I've seen different disposable cameras in like Walgreens and CVS getting upwards of $30 to $35, which is a pretty high price point, to be honest. A couple of years ago, you could pick one up for like $15. I'm sure there are still places where you can do that. But if it interests you at all, I would say spend just the tiny bit more to get a film camera that you can reuse. You can keep it. You don't have to throw it away every time. And if you're someone like me who gets your film developed locally, I have a local photo and video store that I go to, and they give me my negatives back. So this is a box of 2 negatives from when I went to Florida back in September 2023. I wrote when I ended the roll, what kind of film I used. So this was both Portra and Ultramax, and then this is the trip that I went on. So I've got I don't know, maybe 10 boxes of negatives that I've kept over the years, which you can also rescan in the future or use as different art pieces if that is something that is interesting to you. Um, your experience may vary, but I have heard if you go to, like, say, a Walgreens or a CVS to get your photos developed, that they do not offer your negatives back. So if you're someone who likes to keep those kinds of things, um, just keep that in mind. Not everybody may have a local photo and video store. Pretty lucky around here that I have one, and everybody there is very nice and knowledgeable, so they were very helpful when I got my start. But if you can shop and support local, I'm gonna suggest that, 100%. But yeah, why would you take this kind of bulky camera around with you? And honestly, it's started a lot of conversations with people, and I think that people are more receptive to seeing cameras out in the wild. Obviously, you can shoot on your iPhone, and I'm sure there are a lot of street photographers who use iPhones, but I think that some people get wary, when you're out and about and it's just a little more awkward to use your phone. Um, but a lot of people have the nostalgia for these point and shoots, or, even something like this SLR. People really respond to it. I was in Chicago last year doing street photography. I was streaming also as well, which I'll link my stream down below in the description. But I was just doing street photography with this Canon T2, and this guy, busy streets of Chicago, jumps out of his car and asked me if I would take pictures of him. So we did a little impromptu film photo shoot, literally in front of like a Walgreens on a busy street. So that was a very memorable experience that literally came about just because I was walking around and I was shooting on this camera. And yeah, I think for what it's worth as a hobby, shooting on film is worth it 100%. There is something to be said about framing your shot and just feeling that physical click of the shutter, hearing the film, wind for your next frame. And there's just been a large resurgence in film in general. I just saw the movie Twisters in theaters, which was shot on Kodak 35 millimeter. It looks gorgeous. And, even in the movie, one of the main characters is shooting on analog film. Their camera, is one of those ones that you have to wind it after you take the photo. And I've seen a lot more people getting into film photography. Do not let the idea of a barrier of entry scare you away from it. I think you can start for genuinely less than $50. You can even ask friends and family if they have old cameras laying around. People who are not actively taking photos with these are very eager to get rid of them. Same with VHS tapes, which I made a video recently about collecting VHS tapes, and I'm digitizing old tapes, which I'll link that video somewhere over here. But yeah, people are very receptive to just passing things along. So I wouldn't be surprised if you could ask friends and family if anybody has a film camera. Rummage around through your basement, rummage around through the attic, ask your grandparents. I know my grandparents have tons of cameras that I just have not gotten to yet. But yeah, if you're looking for something to keep you more mindful and something that takes a little bit more time but will deliver results, film photography is a wonderful experience. Like I said, if you can avoid the disposable cameras, I think you're going to get a much better return on your investment if you go for a camera that you can reuse. And, you don't have to buy these big packs of film. I have a 3-pack here, and I think I bought like maybe a 5 or 6-pack of Kodak Portra. You can buy single rolls of film, test it out, and, just take it from there. You don't have to be spending a lot of money to start, and you don't have to put up a lot to get a lot out of it. So, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll link another video somewhere around here for you to watch. But let me know in the comments, do you shoot on film? Are you interested in starting film photography? This has definitely rekindled my love for photography. And by extension, has made me more mindful of making videos, and like I'm trying to record things on VHS now. So playing around a lot with the different analog experiences that we can have. But let me know. I know some people will not really see the point, but I'm always open for discussion. So again, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.